legend get made. Blast off in a brave new world. Bring on the game, changing thing, champs like big. I'm going hard cause I got to have much more. Hold tight, are you ready for the ride of your life?
Well, hello and thank you for joining us. I've got former super featherweight champion of the world Barry Jones with me, and Florian Marku has joined us this week. Florian, great to see you. How is everything? Fatherhood, career, and how do you feel you're progressing?
Everything good. I moved from London now. I live in Sheffield. You know me and
commiserations. No, I'm joking.
What a commitment.
I'm joking.
And good. You know, look, from the day that my boy was born, everything have changed. You know, but you can't feel it till you have it. You know, everyone was telling me, "Oh, when you have," and now I understand what is life about.
Yeah.
It's different.
Good change, a good change. When do you think you'll be out next? I'm hearing rumours and rumblings of perhaps end of the summer, perhaps a stadium fight in Albania.
Yeah. I think it will be around end of August in Albania. You know, in the capital of Albania, Tirana. We are working. I think this week or next week we're gonna announce it, and it will be huge in a football stadium.
We can't wait for that. Barry and I want to be on that plane. The reason we've got you here is because we want to have a look at your rivals. So cast your eyes over some of the top welterweight prospects that you could face. So this is Virgil Ortiz Jr. What have you made of him? 18 fights, 18 knockouts.
Very strong, explosive. I like him. Very strong.
Barry, you're a fan as well, aren't you?
I am, yeah, because he is strong, he's aggressive, and he obviously got a 100% knockout ratio, but it's more than that. You just see a little clip there. He feints before he throws, so he's not just gung ho and just comes in swinging like a lunatic. He has this thought behind his work, and when you're that aggressive and you're thinking all the time, look at that for a right hand.
Yeah.
He's always busy with his hands.
David Avanesyan, the European champion, is he someone that you could fight in the future?
Of course, as I said before, whoever they bring me near the world title, I'm gonna fight him. Avanesyan, I think, is strong fighter. He brings always the pressure, and I think he's in the top 10 of the world for me.
You know who this is, don't you? Benn, someone that you've called out in the past.
Yes.
What do you make of him?
He has progressed a lot. You know, you cannot say the opposite, but he needs a fight that now they can throw some heavy hits back. You know. The fights that he had with Algeria, with Van Herden are good fighters. They had the best time, you know, and now they stop Chris Kongo.
Chris Kongo called you out, didn't he? He was the one that called you out.
Yes, he called many people have started now calling me out, you know. But as I said to you before, I can fight whoever they bring me that will help me go fastest to the world title.
Kongo had that loss to Mickinson, but he's got long levers, Barry. He's a handful as well.
No, he is, yeah. You know, he can box quite well, and he got the. I'm seeing him being here aggressive, and he got a fight on the turn. But he has good boxing skills and a lovely, nice, long jab.
This guy is.
Who is this guy?
This guy is the best. This guy gonna beat all these guys that you showed before, you know.
This is your most recent win.
Yes, this is with Chris Jenkins, but
stoppage was a good stoppage in your eyes.
Good, yeah, very good stoppage, because look his legs. If you see, his legs are gone. You know, he couldn't keep his balance, and the referee, I think, he made the best choice. I started the fight slow. It was the first time that I started the fight slow, and that can show what we are working on our gym. You know, I didn't care if I lose the first, second round. I knew that I'm gonna take him.
Well, to be honest, with someone like Chris Jenkins, who's a seasoned boxer, especially at British domestic level, you run at him like a lunatic, and you play into his hands. He'll box you. He will box, and then you're round 5 in. You're at a deficit. Then you're starting to panic, and you're tensing up, and all those things you don't want to do. You start to do. I think we're talking about Conor Benn being an improved fighter, but I think you are as well, because you're starting to think more about your work. Now, you've always shown pockets in fights where you'll slip to the left, and so that it's like a screw shot, more than a left uppercut. It's a straight left through the middle, and so you think about your work, but really you've downed it on your strength. But now you're starting to.
But people doesn't rate me a lot. They doesn't know that I can switch both stances. You know, who can show me one of these guys that can box in both stances? I box in both stances. You know, orthodox or southpaw, and they doesn't know what will come for them. You know.
But the cut has healed up nicely.
Yes, yeah, he's okay. Yeah. The headbutt.
Yeah.
When I saw it in the third, I think it was in the third round. Then when I saw blood, I said, "Whoa!" And I was afraid that maybe they're gonna stop me, because you never know when you are a fighter and you see a blood coming on your eyes, how big it is, you know. I go to my corner and I ask Grant, I say, is big the cut? No, he said, don't. But in me, I say, I must stop him. That's why I start pushing more.
But it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. No one ever wants to get cut. But I mean, it's a good thing that it's happened, especially in a fight that you were on your way to winning, because the next time it happens, there won't be such a panic inside you. You'll worry about it.
Yes.
But you'll have more faith in your corner because they told you the right things now,
Yes,
and it turns to be true. There'll be no panic in you anymore. And I think so. These things, all these little box ticked, being cut and going and being able to adapt to that situation is one of those.
Before we let you go, those were your rivals that you want to face, that you could face down the line. But let's just have a quick discussion about all-time favourite rivalries. So if I said to you one rivalry from boxing history that you loved the most, which one was it?
Ali Fraser and Arturo Gatti with Mickey Ward. Good.
Nah, boring.
Boring. Why don't you pick an
boring.
entertaining one? What was it about Ali Fraser? Was it the fights itself? Was it the clash of personalities? What was it particularly?
Yeah, I think Ali was making every fight entertaining. You know, the way he was talking to their opponents, you know, the way he was selling himself, and he was making the fight so big, you know, Thriller on Manila, how it was then the name, you know, he makes some good fights, and Fraser so tough, you know, coming forward always, and he knocked down, I think, 2 times in the 3 fights, I think. He broke the jaw of Muhammad Ali, you know.
With that left hook, wasn't it?
Yeah, with the left
weapon.
hook. Exactly. And Arturo Gatti with Mickey Ward. Unbelievable.
May God rest his soul.
Exactly.
Mr. Entertainment, never in a dull fight. And the Mickey Ward trilogy is just incredible. Incredible.
Just when you get 2 fighters to meet, it's almost fate, luck. The 2 fighters of the equal toughness to meet each other at the same time.
Exactly.
Like that, and, put on, and to fight each other and to want to do it. If I had one hard fight like that, do you want to fight them again? I could not.
Well, round 9.
No, not really.
Round 9 is the first fight. It's just one of the best rounds in boxing history.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even realise it wasn't even for a world title. I think it was a 10-rounder.
No,
you know,
really?
people forget about that.
Listen, Mickey Ward wasn't a world-class fighter.
He wasn't.
He was a fantastic fighter, but he wasn't a world-class fighter. He was just slightly below that.
Amazing trilogy. Amazing fight.
I think he ended up being sort of that, because obviously, you know, he came over here and beat Shane Neary, of course. But no, really, he came from nowhere. He was almost a club fighter.
Yeah, well, may God rest his soul, Arturo Gatti, rest in peace. Your favourite rivalry?
Oh, well, these are not 2 club fighters. These are 2 all-time greats, Mexican greats, and that's Barrera versus Morales. Marco Antonio Barrera versus
I get a
Morales.
feeling that is going to be picked a lot.
It was my sort of weight as well. It was like super bantam, feather, super feather. You know, they boxed with 3 times in like 4 years, something like that. You know, and Barrera got the nod 2-1.
They did hate each other as well, didn't they?
Well, they did, because Barrera's from, I think, a middle-class background, and Morales is from where most boxers are, from the street. We tend to think all Mexicans are just from poverty. But I don't think Barrera was. He was from an educated family. So for Morales, I know what the country like that are like. You know, if you either got it or you've got nothing. There's no in between, is there really?
Yeah.
And so there's a natural disdain for him, isn't there? And the way he conducted himself, and I think Morales had it quite harder. So yeah, he had a point to prove, and that's why, you know, he gets the first fight he wins, because he wanted it just a little bit more, which is crazy to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
How could you want it more off Barrera? But you know, and all 3 fights really raised the thing close.
And they were made for each other. Before I let you go, my 2 penalties was a super bantamweight rivalry that ended up 2-2. Rafael Marquez, Israel Vasquez. I met Israel Vasquez in Vegas a few years ago. The series was so brutal. He actually lost his eye. He lost.
Yes.
He had his eye taken out in the end. But 4 matches over 3 years, incredible. If you can get on YouTube and watch any of those rivalries.
They had 2 or 3 fights of the year then, weren't they?
Yeah, and back to back. Yeah, incredible.
Who you said? Who?
Rafael Marquez and Israel Vasquez. Get on it later on. So there's my recommendation, but probably doesn't compare to these 2. So thank you very much for joining us. Safe journey back home to Sheffield. Hopefully you can get some sleep now. You've got the little boy to look after. Barry, thank you for coming in. Make sure you join us next Tuesday.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.